Welcome to Artist to Art. I'm Aaron Jack, and we're going to be on with Pandr Design Co. Muralists with Phoebe and Roxy. So I'm really excited to have them today. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you all being here today, watching whenever now is. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I hope you all get to go back and watch the other 80-some episodes of Artist to Art. So Aaron Jack, I'm at Aaron Jack Line Art. We're going to be on with Phoebe and Roxy of Pandr Design Co. So we're going to let them come on as everyone jumps on this live. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you. So once again, you're able to ask questions, do all of that, be here, be present. Wait around for a second. Hang out. Hey, Kat. Hey, Brenda. We are going to get Pandr Design Co. So they're awesome. They create all these awesome murals and share about business and business of muraling and all kinds of things. So I'll call you Z. So here we go. So thank you all for joining. I appreciate you all.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Welcome to another day, right?
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Happy Tuesday.
Right? When do you normally do your lives? Because I see you on all the time.
Yeah. Usually I guess in the afternoon over here. We're on the West Coast, so afternoons. Fridays I feel like people are always on their phones because they're like checked out, like ready to go for the weekend. So Fridays are good.
Nice. And where on the West Coast are you?
We are in San Diego.
Oh. What's how's the weather outside there?
Great. Yeah, it's like a nice little 60 degrees or so. Sunny.
That's beautiful. It's like 30 some here. So
Yeah,
on the East Coast.
Yeah, this is cold for us as it is.
So what's been going on? I hear you have your new webinar coming up tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have our webinar. It's called the Be Legit webinar, and we are gonna walk. Well, it's mostly artists, but I guess you could be whatever sort of entrepreneur or freelancer you want to be. But we will be helping people set themselves up legitimately. No more doing stuff underneath the table. Getting themselves set up as an official business, whether that be a sole proprietor, LLC. We're going to walk you through all the different steps. So if that's something you're interested in, certainly sign up. There's still time.
Wow. Are people going to be able to check it out afterwards?
Yeah, if you can't watch it live, then you can watch it later at your own convenience because we know like time zones and people have different things going on.
But you have to sign up before the end of today.
Yeah.
Wow, what got you all into like doing all of this stuff beyond just like, because you're doing the graphic design thing, then you're doing the mural thing, and then you're helping other people with growing their businesses. What got you into that, like that side of things?
Yeah, so we started our business about 5 years ago. We both had gone to school for graphic design and were working in that industry, but we were really craving getting away from the computer and being able to work outside, do things more large scale, and get back into painting. So we actually had a goal of just painting one mural. And once we painted that one mural, we just loved the process and wanted to do more. So we posted it on social media. And over the past 5 years, we've painted over 200 murals all over the United States and in a few different countries, and have basically built a successful business doing it. And we realized, well, from our own experience, we had no idea how to run a business when we started. So we learned so much, we messed up so much. And now, having gone through it, we want to teach other creatives how to be successful. So, we sell contract templates on our website. We teach webinars how to make money doing this because we believe that other artists should be successful doing what they love. What we do is really valuable. So we're trying to teach other creatives how to be successful and make six figures as well.
That's awesome. So what's something, if you each could choose something that you would love to paint, like anything, like out of like the creativeness inside of your heart, Like,
Mm.
and if, you know, you got like the dream thing to like, you know, just explore and express, like you had a couple months residency and you could
Oh
explore
man.
anything and then could paint it. Like, what would that feeling be?
Yeah, I guess like for us, the art side of it, we love creating art, but what's different from us than like a typical artist is that we work with clients. So our job is to bring out what the client's needs are for their business. So with our murals, it's not necessarily an expression of Phoebe and I, it's an expression of the business and who they want to connect with. So we're more driven by like money. We're more driven by like different opportunities. So like for us, we'd love to paint a big rooftop mural in San Diego. So when you're flying in, you can see it when you're landing at the airport. What that would be, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like a big opportunity like that, I'm sure we could take a couple months to paint a rooftop mural.
Yeah, it's hard thinking like when we're put on the spot to do anything we want. But actually, we did a few of those during, well, the pandemic's still going on, but at the beginning of the pandemic during lockdown, I'm sure the same as where you were. There were a lot of boarded up businesses just because they had no idea when they were going to be opening, and then that carried over into the Black Lives Matter protests. But so we did have the opportunity to paint a lot of stuff for just fun because the city needed beautification, and they were like, go wild, and we were like, okay, let's do it. So we're known for our lettering, so we tried to do a lot of stuff without lettering to show people that we can paint realistically, we can paint illustratively, like just different than our normal stuff. So I guess that's exploring more of that route.
Wow. So if that were to be like, you know, anything, like so you named like a place, like one place that you would love to, like the rooftop, the flyover, that experience of flying over, being a part of it. What
Yeah.
would something like the, you know, if you could control that, like anything, you someone's just like go crazy, be creative on this rooftop, like
Yeah.
paint your wildest imagination, like, you know, just for a second, like the money was just on the table.
It's
Yeah.
so hard. I know.
Yeah, we probably paint something along the lines of like Welcome to San Diego, super colorful, really eye-catching, really bold that you just like can't take your eyes off of. So
All
maybe,
the colors.
yeah, lots of colors, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And so what got you into like the such the color scheme that you're in right now? Like what's driving each of you in like your own like representations in those colors?
Yeah, it's funny because we don't dress like really, or I'm wearing bright blue right now, but typically we wear a lot of black. And Roxy's, I can't think of, but my apartment is decorated a lot of black and white. So it's funny, I don't really like live and breathe color, but I think it's more just comes from a place like with murals, a lot of the majority of our work is exterior. So I'm just sick of seeing white walls. It's just so boring. A lot of other countries are more experimental with like the way they even paint their houses in bright colors, where the US is just like snoozeville, beige. So I think the more color, the better is why I'm drawn to it. And we're more likely to get eyes on our work if it's brighter.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes people happy. And now our clients come to us because they love our bright colors. Like they think of our brand and they think of bright colors. So people hire us because it is eye-catching. People want to connect with it, come take a photo. So we're really all about those engaging, eye-catching moments.
Wow. Do you each play like different roles in your partnership, or how does that work for you? If you could maybe expound, you know, because it's
I'm
like,
the angel and she's the devil.
oh.
Actually, we are pretty much the same
Yeah.
person, same role in our business, which is really nice because we're both the creative. We both do everything together. We have the capabilities to do everything, and it's nice having the two of us because if one time I don't feel like doing the contract or the invoicing or, you know, sending out the harassment emails to get paid, Phoebe will, you know, take on that and I'll do something else. But the process with us for creating artwork is super collaborative. So I think that is something that also sets us apart, is that we do have two minds. We work together, and not a lot of partnerships do that. It's typically one person's more the creative and one person's more the entrepreneur, but we're both everything. And I think that has made us really successful.
That's awesome. How did you both like meet? What was the meeting story here?
Yeah, I slid into Roxy's DMs, and at that time she had about 15,000 followers on Instagram. So I was like, whoa, she's a major celebrity. She's never going to answer me. And I don't know if I proposed the meetup initially, or
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, I was like, hey, I love your work. I'd love to talk and meet up. Would you be open to like getting a glass of wine or whatever? Not thinking that she would respond. Bold move. And and so then she did, and so we met up for wine and cheese and just like talked Instagram and lettering and all the nerdy stuff, and really hit it off.
Wow, amazing. So what's like some of the nerdy stuff that you both like really get into?
Yeah, we're both really, I mean, at the time we were a lot more obsessed with lettering and design. So on that first meeting, Phoebe had proposed the idea of starting a meetup group for other lettering nerdos. So we were hosting events like making letters out of food, everybody, or like drawing on different objects, or, you know, there was all kinds of different events that we had all centered around lettering. So we were having like 100 people coming to the different events. And we were doing that for a few months, and then we realized we work really well together. We'd love to do a freelance project together, which we did, and then that led to another one, and then we both quit our jobs and started our business full time.
Wow, and you were both in graphic design before, like working,
Yes.
school. Okay, so you both were like school, working, and then came together as like freelance, and then decided this mural thing was a thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So now you're talking about how other countries are a little bit more expressive in their housing design, because I've noticed that too. Like inside, outside. I was in India for a while. Like it's very expressive. Like interiors, like even ceilings are like something.
Yeah.
Have you ever so beyond commercial, have you ever done like more residential, or would you like to do houses? Like what would your dream, what would some of those dreams be for each of you if like you could color the world?
Wow, well, that's a great segue to our new book that's coming out. Delayed gratification, though. It's coming out in October. Yeah. But it's all about how to paint a mural in your own home. So we are kind of making that leap into the residential world. You can't really see too well in this video, but this mural, it's kind of like a watercolor effect behind it.
Well, feel free to move the camera.
Yeah.
You're in charge.
Kind of see it up there. But yeah, so we did a lot of experiments in our office for this book. But yeah, we see every white wall as an opportunity. So it doesn't have to be something that is just commercial or on the exterior. There's certainly room to explore and have fun with color on the inside of your apartment, your house, your shed, your mailbox. So yeah, we have a very brightly colored shed and mailbox, so that makes us stand out on our street. But yeah, we really are all about teaching people how to do this themselves. Paint is so affordable. It's a really easy way to just transform your space.
Wow. So what kind of, for a little bit of the technical nerdy stuff, what's some of the paint that you both enjoy working with? Like,
we basically exclusively work with house paint. So interior, exterior house paint, you can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, Sherwin-Williams. It's very reasonably priced. A gallon of paint is about $40, and that can last a long time. So that's what we're using primarily. I've even used it on canvases. So all different materials, canvas, wood, brick, it doesn't really matter.
Wow. And do you normally prime the surface, or what's your, like, if you've got a brick wall or concrete, what are your kind of techniques for priming and then going into it?
We buy paint with primer in it, so you don't necessarily need to prime it ahead of time. If you really want to be OCD, you absolutely can do that, but we're
Time is money.
time is money kind of people. So yeah, we just go right in with the paint itself. Obviously, if there's like moss or creepy dirt, you're gonna want to probably do some like power washing, but otherwise, yeah, you can just go right in there.
Wow. So you're really just like get the paint, get it on there. Are you
Yes.
what's your like technique for getting your idea onto that wall so that you can like then start to go into it?
Yeah, there's a few different methods. It really depends on the space. If it's interior, exterior, do we have access at night to power? So either we'll project, which is what we do probably 50% of the time would be projecting on the wall. We need a source of power. We also need it to be dark enough that we can see our image. It doesn't have to be pitch black. Also need to be able to step back away from the wall. So if it's in a thin hallway, we can't really project. If we can't project, we'll freehand it. It's nice if it is a cinder block wall or a brick wall because we can overlay the design on the wall and literally count bricks to make sure that everything is laid out correctly. There's also pouncing, which is printing it out, cutting some holes in the paper, tracing over with chalk, and it leaves a little outline. And then there's also the doodle method, which a lot of large-scale muralists use, where you basically draw a bunch of shapes onto the wall, overlay your design onto it, and it's basically like a quicker way to grid your design without having to do perfect straight grid lines.
So using like the smiley face as a reference point to where this or that should go. I think someone in the comments asked what the largest mural we've ever done is, and what is it?
Our largest mural thus far, we just booked one that's actually bigger, but we haven't installed it. But the biggest one we have thus far is here in San Diego. It's a brewery, and it's 30 feet tall by 150 feet long.
Wow. And what's the next one?
6 days.
6 days.
Yeah.
What's the biggest one that you're working on then?
Oh yeah, so that's a sign painting job, which is a little bit different because we don't do any of the designing. It's provided artwork, so they did the hard stuff, and then we just get to show up. And I mean, our job is going to be hard. It is a massive wall, so that one is about 7,000 square feet, I think.
6,000 or 7,000 square feet, but yeah, it's our first six-figure job, so we're really excited about that.
That's nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wow. Do you ever hire any outside artists to then help you out?
Yeah. Certainly for this job we will coming up. Anything else that's bigger or for travel purposes, if we're not able to make it there, we'll call on sign painters. Sign painters are trained to replicate anything they're given. So we'll take a look at their portfolio, make sure it's up to par, and then if they have their business license and liability insurance, then we're good to go.
So business license and liability insurance. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Because you both seem to be very much about these aspects.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, so legally we cannot hire any subcontractors that don't have a business license or liability insurance.
Which is a California thing, but it might be
other states as well, but it's good to just protect yourself. So anytime you're working on site for a company, so we paint murals, so we obviously have to go on site for a client, you need to have general liability insurance, and that same thing goes for any subcontractors. Even if we're on site as well, they need to have their own liability insurance, because say they knock over a gallon of paint or they break a window or something, we would be liable for that because of them. So we need to make sure to protect ourselves and make sure they have their own insurance. Business license is important too. Legally, you have to have a business license if you're getting hired by us for subcontractors. So it's just really important to, I think not a lot of creatives take the time to learn about the business side, but it is really important for setting yourself up for success.
It's peace of mind for the client, but also peace of mind for you, because you don't want to be on the hook if you accidentally destroy their wall, or I don't know how we would actually do that, but I mean, things happen,
Things happen. So what's your so do you have an LLC, or what's the thing?
We started as an LLC, but because we went up a tax bracket and our taxes were getting out of control, so we actually changed to an S Corp with our financial advisor helping us and our accountant. So because we're making a certain amount of money every year, being an S Corp helps us with taxes, so we don't have to pay $100,000 in taxes every year. So I would definitely recommend the sooner the better when you work for yourself that you can get an accountant and get advice about this stuff, the better.
Nice. At what point did you both get the accountant and get on that?
Yeah, we were always just taking our taxes to H&R Block or whatever. I mean, we did not rely on ourselves to do that because that's not our forte.
Right.
But officially an accountant on retainer, I'd say it was like 2.5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. And when did you both get into this? Like together?
5 years. So yeah,
5 years.
about halfway through our journey, we
got an accountant, got a bookkeeper, got a payroll company. We also were at that time expanding to have employees, so it was important that our accounting and all that was set.
And a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yep. Gosh, yeah. There's lots of fun things, but we'll be going over all of this tomorrow in our webinar.
Right. Tomorrow, go to the webinar. I'm just like, I'm kind of curious. The 2.5 years in, and you started to get like a certain amount of clients, you have a certain amount of bookings. You're like, okay, let's take this seriously.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you step by step.
Baby steps. Yeah.
Baby steps. Okay. So at one point you're like, okay, I have to deal with this. I'm going to get a lawyer. At one point you're like, you got to get the taxes under control.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. So what kind of advice would you have maybe for an artist or graphic designer who'd like to paint, get their work on a wall? I saw some of your stuff, like put it on something in your apartment, but like, I'm happy for other ideas.
Yeah, I had a sort of a troll coming after me today saying like, that was not a good idea. But yeah, your friend's house, you're like, I just practice. We also had a lot of fake murals in our portfolio when we started reaching out to businesses and showing them our portfolio. We had a lot of mock-ups. So literally Photoshop, whether you're working the iPad, we work in Procreate most of the time, just showing what's possible. Obviously, don't showcase crazy murals that you don't think you could actually ever paint physically. So maybe a little bit more basic mock-ups to start, but just to get the ball rolling. And then once you get that first mural, make sure you post about that on social media. And that's what we did. And then another business will see it. And, you know, again, it just gets the ball rolling.
Nice. Jackie Danger says she seems to already have painted some murals, but she's looking to get maybe some larger clients, some larger scale work. What ideas would you have for her, besides taking your webinar and buying your book that comes out in October? Because those are obvious. You got to do that.
Yeah, we're really big proponents of doing outreach. So we actually have available on our website, on our shop, an outreach and email guide. So when we first started, no one knew who we are. We didn't have a name, so we had to go after clients ourselves. No one was coming and knocking on our door asking us for a mural. So we put together a presentation and started doing very targeted outreach, just cold email outreach to companies. And that was how we were getting 90% of our work in the beginning. Over the past 5 years, we've made over $300,000 in work that we got through cold email outreach. And we never have like a lull where we don't have work happening because we are constantly doing outreach to get new clients. Even now, we're still doing outreach, even though most of our work is coming to us through social media or through our website. But if you're not doing outreach, you are missing out on clients that can hire you.
Projects on the table.
Especially for murals, because people don't know where to find a muralist. So if you want to get our presentation on our website, it walks you through exactly what to have in your deck to email to clients, and it actually gives you the emails, literally what to say in the email that you're trying to get work from these clients.
Nice. So you're reaching out to businesses, you're reaching out to clients. How do you know that a client has enough room for a new mural?
It doesn't matter. You never know. I mean, we always have these assumptions in our heads, like, oh, I noticed this location, they already have all their walls covered. You don't know that they're not opening a second branch. You don't know that they don't have a friend that needs a mural. You don't know anything behind the scenes. We tell ourselves all these lies of why we shouldn't reach out, but really it's about just going after it. It's a numbers game. You literally just never know. And a lot of the times we're getting responses like, oh my God, I was just looking for or just wanting to get a mural or just wanting to get a sign painted, but I had no idea where to go because there's no great platform for this.
Or someone will reach out
yeah.
a year later and say, hey, you'd reached out to me a year ago and I didn't need a mural then, but I do need a mural now. Are you still available? So just the more people you can connect with, the better.
Amazing. So what inspires you? Like, how do you get the inner drive to do that, like outreach and cold email and break those boundaries? I know a lot of people, especially artists, have that might have that like barrier to outreach.
Yeah,
what allows you maybe to do that?
We're motivated
what
because
words?
It actually works.
It definitely works. I think in the beginning it came from like literally survival mode,
scarcity,
because like if we weren't doing outreach, we didn't have any business coming into our inbox. And I think a lot of artists do a lot of the rest of the world a disservice by like making it look like, oh, Nike just knocked on my door. Well, a lot of these artists out there have agents who, guess what? They're doing outreach for them. Agents are in charge of outreach. So if you don't have an agent, which 99% of us do not, I think that's probably accurate percentage. You know, you need to make these opportunities happen for yourself. So that's why we're doing it like 100% of the time in the beginning. We don't have to do it as much anymore, thank goodness, because it is nice now that more people come to us because we have work out there or they've heard of us or whatever. But yeah, it's just wanting to make money and not be in scarcity mode, and
not being passive with your business as well. You can't just wait around. Like, we don't have the luxury of just, you know, taking it easy and not working. We want to be working. We want to be successful, and our business made $400,000 last year during a pandemic, and that's because we worked super, super hard, and it's possible for all of you to be making that much too, but you have to work, you have to put yourself out there, and you have to go after these clients. You can't just wait around.
That's excellent. Now, yeah, no, that's great. That's great. You got to go out there yourselves. That's the idea. And it seems like you're putting some messaging out in the world. What kind of in your own lives inspires your messaging? Like what experiences do maybe each of you have that gives you inspiration for your messaging?
Well, this image that you're showcasing specifically is at an elementary school. These were on wall ball courts. So obviously we're aware of the clientele. So trying to spread messages of positivity in general, but on a children's playground, we got to start with the young because our world is messed up enough right now. So start them young, insert those good values. But yeah, otherwise it just goes hand in hand with like the bright colors. There's enough terrible crap out there. Like,
yeah, we seem to have lost audio.
There we go. Our murals. Hopefully when someone sees our murals, it gives them like a little
bit of positivity.
Yeah.
What do you find inspires each of you to be kind in your everyday lives, or like when you're having maybe trouble being kind? Like what, there's like a challenge maybe that causes you to want to do other than be kind. Like what kind of what are maybe things you might say to yourself, or things you might do, actions that might give you that boost?
Yeah, we certainly both get like super stressed out. I mean, working for yourself, there's a lot of stress that goes into it. So there's times where maybe we're not in the best mood, or we just have a lot going on, or we're getting trolls on Instagram or TikTok that like make you just not feel good or the best version of yourself, and it makes you like hate people and not want to be nice back. But
to be frank,
yeah. I mean, people are super, super mean on social media. So sometimes it does get to you. We both go to therapy to help us work through that. We read a lot. I love to go on a walk every morning just to get outside. If I'm feeling like anxious or, upset, I'll just like take a deep breath and try to like relax and like not just realize that like these haters or like difficult clients, like it's not about me, it's about what's going on in their life, and trying not to take things personally and just try to be the best version of myself so that, you know, I don't ever want to make someone feel the way that maybe a troll makes me feel. So I'm not going to like retaliate or whatever. And a difficult client might just, you know, hate their life. It's not about me. It's about, you know, whatever's going on with them. So just realizing, like, taking a step back, stepping away from social media, the computer, going for a walk, like, that's all you really can do.
Thank you, Allie.
Yeah, Allie loves your TikToks, and the reels have been super helpful. You both are like on these reels, on these TikToks, on that. Do you want to tell us a little bit of something about your, like, what goes through your head and how you improve and exchange and where you're at now, what you're looking to do?
I think the most important thing, it sounds really cheesy, but it's having fun. Because what's the point if you're not having fun doing it? I mean, a lot of us, I know we post to get engagement and grow followers and blah, blah, blah. But I think, yeah, like Roxy and I have so much fun doing them. And that's why we're able to not lose our minds. So that's like I guess my number one tip.
What would you like to be doing in them if you could, you know, have a week that a client paid you to just do a reel for yourself?
Yeah.
Or just like had a week to just make whatever. What would be something that you'd like to that you'd each like to maybe explore?
We're just always, this is my thought, is that we're always trying to just get rid of this freaking starving artist stereotype. So the more education and thoughts about that we can put out there, the better. And maybe one reel or TikTok at a time, we'll just start chipping away at it. And in the year 2070, it'll be gone. Yeah.
We've got some questions here. Some quick. Leia Art Create says, have you ever had to fire a client?
Yeah, we did have to fire one client. There have been a few that have been on the brink of getting fired by Pandr.
You don't need to talk about specifics. You don't need to tell us who they are.
Yeah, one was they basically got really upset that we wouldn't double the size of the mural for free after they'd already given us the deposit, which obviously we're not going to do unless they pay us more money. They didn't want to pay more money. So we said, we can't do that. Do you still want to proceed? And she basically said that they would get everyone at their company to write us negative Yelp reviews if we didn't do that. So we're like, you know, not a good fit. We're not really enjoying this situation. So we're going to have to cut ties. And we have our contract, which is available on our website, has in there that deposit is non-refundable. There's termination stuff in there. So you have to protect yourself as an artist to make sure that you have a way out of projects, because people do turn psycho.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. You've had clients turn psycho. You've had followers turn psycho. You see.
Everyone's going psycho.
Oh my god. Okay. What?
It happens.
Yeah, so the contracts, they help you avoid the contracts, the walks, the therapy.
Yes.
Be kind to people.
Yep.
They help you be kind in such situations.
Exactly. It all comes full circle to the mural.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's I think the thing. Do you ever write these things on your own wall?
Yeah, not on our own walls, but like, yeah, we don't have any lettering here. We have
like 7 murals in our office.
We have a ton of whiteboards that we keep track of everything, and I think it's just helpful that there's 2 of us, so we're kind of a nice we're therapy for each other, you know.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thing when we have partners who are working with every day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What is going on here?
Ooh, yeah, that was a pretty tricky mural. It's kind of hard to see from this photo, but we call it the fin, or the company called it the fin too. It's like juts out of the building, and we had to rent a boom lift to be able to get up to those top corners and stuff. It was a tough one, but yeah, it turned out really nicely. We're proud of ourselves, and that was our last mural of 2020.
Wow. How do you do how do you create such what looks like perfect lines?
Yeah, so it comes from a lot of practice. We basically worked on every kind of surface at this point, and we've had to trick ourselves to not be afraid of heights.
Luckily, that wall, the one good thing about that wall was it was really, really smooth, and they had just painted it that stark white. So we used painter's tape to get the crisp lines, but yeah, the tape stuck really nicely to it. In other instances, like if it's raw brick, it might not be so much, and you have to put your finger down in the little divots to make sure the line goes straight. So that can certainly be more of a time suck, and we encourage people to charge more when it's a tricky surface, because yeah, it's just going to take so much more time.
But you can see there's a lot of curves in that piece as well, with the circles and the arches and stuff. So that all has to be freehand because we can't tape that out. So it just comes from a lot of practice. You have to step back and take a look at it from far away and make sure that looks like a circle and not an oval.
Yeah, it is good when it's bigger too. Like you can get away with a little bit more of an error because when it's larger, especially this one too, like people aren't going up super close to it to look at the little fine areas. But for the circles, we used, we taped down a piece of string, and then, so I don't know how we did it. So they're big circles, but take the string with a pencil or chalk and go around that way.
And you're like on like a cherry picker while you're circling?
Yeah, it was kind of well, it definitely was a team effort. So we hired our friend Lindsay, who's a wonderful sign painter, to help out with this one as well. And so having 3 of us was really great because someone could be able to hold the tape or the string from the cherry picker, and then one person would be on the roof and
on a ladder
getting it from the other side. So I really don't know how an individual could do this one by themselves, or they could. It would just take like triple the amount of time.
At least, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What's going on here?
Yeah, so this was another awesome project that we got to do back in December. We'd actually been working on it for about a year, but this is for the Port of San Diego on the Imperial Beach Pier. We got to paint 3 different walls on the pier. So the pier goes out a half-mile into the ocean. So we got to paint a few different moments along the pier. So this is one where we're working with the city, and whenever you're working with government, it's a lot more time consuming, more restricted as far as what the design could be. So this was just a unique project, but it looks really cool. So if you're in San Diego or visiting, definitely check out the ocean or the Ivy Pier and walk all the way to the end, get a glass of wine, get some oysters, and check out our murals.
Did you get to have some wine and oysters like on your break?
Every day.
We did. Yeah, they treated us well. So that was a fun aspect of that project for sure.
Nice. Do you get the premium for the danger and risks, Mamie asks?
Yeah, we'll definitely add some cushion on there if it seems like it's going to be a scary one.
What was the first one you used a cherry picker for? Had some crazy height thing?
Yeah, we haven't had to rent a boom lift too much.
Typically using scissor lift.
It's usually a scissor lift, which is a lot easier to maneuver. It just goes mostly just up and down. The first time I ever drove one, I knocked out the power on the entire block. So
nice.
yeah, all about learning things the hard way.
The electrical block just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a lot of practice, and now I consider myself a pro. And then the cherry picker isn't that difficult either to actually drive. It's more just the heights. It's
not
swings.
as secure because you're on an arm. You're not just like on a structure. So it's a little bit more scary.
We have a question here. What do you say to someone you sent a quote to but no longer want to do it, I guess?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So for all our estimates, we have on there that they expire after 30 days. So like someone can't get a quote from us and then a year later expect the same price. So we limit ourselves that way and make sure that they know. It also creates a sense of urgency for the client. Like if you don't book this in 30 days, it's going to be more expensive. But there's been plenty of times that we've quoted a project and then thought, you know, there's too many red flags. This person seems like they're not going to be a good fit to work with us. So we'll just tell them, like, you know, upon thinking about it, we just don't think we're a good fit for this project, or you can blame it on being too busy. But I mean, you don't have to even explain yourself at all.
If the contract's not signed,
You have no obligation.
you don't need to. And to Jackie, yes to harnesses. And then someone else earlier asked about having some sort of framework for pricing, and we do have a free pricing guide available for murals on our website. On our website, yeah.
Nice. And do you work with a lot of people with like specific color matches, or how do you go about that?
Yeah. So it depends on how anal the client wants to be. Like if they have the paint color that they want exactly picked out, then that's fine. We'll use that one. Other times clients want us to match the PMS perfectly, and we have to tell them that that's really quite impossible to match PMS perfectly to a paint swatch. So in our contract, we have something that says, you know, we do our best, but we have a room for error, like 25% difference from the on-screen rendering, because a digital rendering is always going to be different than and depending on lighting and all those things. So we just let them know, like, we'll do our best, but
paint colors are very limited. Like when you go into the paint store, when you're looking at, say, yellow or red, those are very limited colors. So there might be 20 swatches to choose from for yellow or 20 from red, but yet on your computer there's thousands of different shades of yellows and reds. So it cannot be perfect just due to the nature of paint. So we have that conversation with our clients early, and Phoebe and I just go and pick what we think looks the closest, and no one's ever complained.
Perfect.
Knock on wood.
Wow. So you're just going in there to Home Depot or whatever and just like, now do you have like specific paint stores that you particularly like that you would like to share?
Yeah, we're trying to stay away from Home Depot because of that president, you know, they support.
Yeah.
But so we will go to Lowe's, which we haven't had the best customer service there, but you know, Lowe's is usually more, there's more of those in the universe. We do love Ace Hardware, we love Dunn Edwards, we love Sherwin-Williams we love for, if you don't need a gallon and you don't need exterior paint, so just for interiors, they have really lovely sample sizes that have a handle on the side, which is great for your wrist, and
it's the size of a quart for
yeah,
$9.
They're really big versus like the normal sample size are those little baby guys that they'll get. So that's a fun little hack, and they're only $9.
But they are more expensive for their gallons, so only go there for samples.
So the hack is to go there for the small sizes when you're just doing the small interior stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha. You've priced it all out. You've gone to
yeah. Oh, we've tried them all.
Yeah.
Have you tried spray paints or other materials and then just decide on this, or what was your idea for that?
Yeah, I again, we're like very efficient. I think not having the ability to last minute run to get that extra spray paint that you need really is off-putting to us. Like if we run out of a color, that's not a problem, but if you were to run out of color spray paint, that's a bigger holdback. It's also more expensive, and we just recently had to wear the respirators for actually just because of the air quality in Seattle at the time when we were painting, and they're incredibly uncomfortable and hard to breathe in. People don't talk about that. So honestly,
hurts your finger too. Like
yeah,
we love working with brush. I feel like working with spray paint, like there's a lot of people that are amazing at it. It's just not what we want to do. We like the look of brush. We're really good at doing it. Spray paint would be more of a learning curve for us.
Maybe in our artist residency.
Yeah, maybe.
Got it. Well, there's people on here. I interview artist residency people, so you know.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got another question here. How was painting your first mural? And how would you say like success? What is success for you in a general mural? And what would it be if like for someone painting the first mural?
Well, I would say success for a first mural is not spilling paint all over the carpet, you know, just not ruining the space. Low expectations. But yeah, ours was a kind of a high pressure situation. Weirdly enough, our first mural was for Red Bull. So my roommate at the time worked for the Red Bull in San Diego and they wanted a mural, so we made it happen. And I guess that was lucky because yeah, we had zero experience. We also bought a really crappy projector, which broke on the spot. So I think we did half of it projected, half made up. But it wasn't a gigantic wall, and it was nice. We were working there over the weekend, so there's no like actual employees walking around watching us mess up through the whole thing. The good thing about paint is that like you can't really mess up unless you get it on the carpet. That's why we love drop cloths, everyone. But you can't really mess up. You just paint over it, you know, or yeah, it's easy to finesse. So, what was the rest of the question?
The client was happy, so at the end of the day, that's what makes it successful. We definitely didn't charge enough. We didn't have a contract. We didn't outline how many revisions. So that's where we needed to learn more about business and get, you know, that side of it dialed. But we learned from that project. We learned that we loved painting murals, which was the most important part. And we weren't nervous. I mean, it was high pressure, but we know we'll do whatever we need to do to make it right.
Mm. Have you, now that you've seen your murals be up for like 5 years or so, right?
Yeah.
What's your impression going back to some of those first murals, and how is it weathered time, like idea wise, and also like internally?
We hate them.
We hate a lot of them. Yeah. It's really ugly. The lettering on some of them are just like, oh, cringe. But you know what? It serves its purpose. It's still up there living its life, and
they look the same as when
do.
we installed them.
That is the wonderful thing about being in San Diego is like we can paint basically 24/7, 365. But we also get to see the sun not fade them. They look the same. So we're like, oh great, this has been really wonderful. So we can share that information with all of our other clients who are really nervous about the longevity, and it's not an issue.
But yeah, I do think exterior paint lasts longer than spray paint because it actually has UV protection in it. It's made for exterior. It's made for withstanding elements. We have, you know, murals that are on the East Coast and the Midwest that are in the snow right now, and we know that they're going to look perfect because the paint is made for that.
That's a very interesting point. Do you ever take the paint and like mix it yourself at all, like mix to like a specific color?
Yeah, so at this point we have quite a collection of leftover paint from all of our projects. So if we have a project coming up that requires a specific color, we'll go and check our shed first and see what we can do in our little our little laboratory back there.
Yeah.
So we'll be mixing them, but we definitely pay attention to the exterior versus interior, because putting interior outside, it has that you know, it might not last as long.
Right. So that's a big thing that you look for, is like, what's the weather, or how is that paint gonna last?
Mm-hmm.
What are gonna be those
right
parts? Let's see if we can change this up. No excuses.
Yeah.
What caused you to consider no excuses?
Well, that was actually the school's one of their slogans. So yeah, just teaching kids young.
But that is actually something that we believe in strongly, because, you know, we're constantly talking to artists and we do coaching and things and webinars. So we're teaching people about how to make more money doing what we love. And we get the most pushback from artists themselves making excuses of why they can't, you know, set up their business legitimately, why they can't charge more, why they can't do certain things. And it's just excuses that are holding them back. And that is the number one thing we get from artists. Not like, how can I make more money? It's making excuses to not make more money. It's like pushing back on the things that, like, no, we're trying to help you. And it's just a mindset thing that artists need to get over when it comes to money specifically. So we're constantly saying, like, that's an excuse, no excuses. Like, that's literally an excuse. And we can tell you from experience, we were the exact same way, and you need to just get over it.
What are some of the biggest things that you see first other artists or graphic designers need to get over? What are some of those hurdles?
Right. It's the number one thing is believing that people won't pay your rates if you charge what we're telling artists they should charge. So we tell people you need to have, when you're starting out, $1,000 minimum when it comes to murals, because there's a lot of time going back and forth. What we do has value. You're doing custom design work. You're going back and forth with the client. There's expenses that go into it. There's taxes. Literally like 30% of what you make is going to taxes. So you're not actually making that $1,000. And when we say that, so many excuses like, no one's going to pay that. No one's going to pay that. I'm like, well, why did someone just pay us over $100,000 for a mural? If you're saying no one will pay, it's like you're either going after the wrong clients. You're not even trying. You're making excuses in your head that someone's not going to pay when you haven't even tried. And we know that it works because we've been there.
Or like, oh, only people in my town won't pay that. It's like, well, it's a global economy. You don't need to just work in your local town.
You haven't reached out to every business in your town. There are global brands. Instead of going to that mom and pop restaurant that may have been shut down for 6 months this year and clearly cannot afford it, go to the restaurant group that works within your state that has plenty of locations that need murals. Like, we are always encouraging people to think bigger instead of just going to my neighbor said they would never pay this for a mural. Like, well, go to someone that can afford it. We've pitched, $50,000, $75,000 for murals, and the client doesn't blink an eye because that's nothing for them. But if we went to someone that literally cannot afford that, of course they're going to say, wow, that's crazy, that's too much. But you can't listen to those people. You have to go find the people that actually can afford you, and that's where you have to do outreach.
How do you find who to do outreach to? Like, what are your what are your parameters right now, and like how have you changed those parameters over time? Like, what are some big lessons, I guess, in the outreach parameters?
Right. So it really is a numbers game, because we're not psychic. Like, we can't tell if a business needs a mural. So like what we were talking about earlier. So just the more people that you email, the better. So we'll pick an industry. So say we'll do breweries, or we'll do commercial real estate. Email every mall in your city or your state. Literally just, it's as simple as Googling. And then what we will, if we can, you don't want to spend too much time on this, but like, try to target the decision maker. Obviously, like, the owner of the company's email isn't always listed on there, but if you can get in touch with the marketing manager or whoever would be the person in charge of hiring you to complete a mural on the property is always great. And what other parameters?
Wait, what did you just say? Repeat that one more time.
Oh, just really try to find the email of the person who will be in charge of hiring you to paint the mural. So it's usually a marketing manager, creative director, interior design firm, or interior design firms, architects are really great. They're always looking for people to have on their vendor list. So when they might not need a mural now, but they have a project coming up down the pipeline, and then they can just go to you, have your name, your information right there, ready to go.
Yeah, one thing that we do to keep track of what industries are working well for us, and I would encourage everyone who does work with clients to do this, is literally go back through every single client that you've had and categorize them by what industry they're in and how big that project was. So we have it color-coded. We know that yellow is 5K or under, bright blue is 10K to 20K. So you can visually see, like, okay, I've done a lot of stuff in food and beverage, but those are low projects. Whereas commercial real estate, or, for us, we do a lot of work in the major league sports industry. Those are bigger projects. They might be less, but the amount of money we're getting in that industry is a lot more than, say, 10 projects for a restaurant could equal one job for a sports team. So it's just being smart and going through what's already worked for you and continue going down that path and targeting more companies in that arena.
If you each had to have a dream client project, what would that be? Like, if you, in any industry, if it was beyond the pay, it didn't matter. It was just I just really want to do a mural for this person? Now you mentioned the airport,
Yeah.
but like some feeling that you were just like, oh, like if I could brighten up their day, their everyday life, what would that be?
I would love to do a mural once Biden is in office. I'd love to do a gigantic mural out at the White House to spread positivity and celebrate diversity. And I feel like people, especially in DC, need something positive right now. So that would be amazing.
Yeah.
We would do that in a second.
I was gonna say, if AOC emailed us today, I think I'd poop my pants.
Yeah.
So the next thing you're gonna like message AOC and be like, hey,
Yeah.
we want to do a mural for you.
Yes. Yeah. Free murals for life, girl.
Right. What would you want to put in that mural for AOC? Like if you could like dream big.
I mean, we would do
You can
in
each
her
answer.
house.
You don't have to just say one thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Like some ideas. Spitball some ideas here.
You're putting us on the spot.
I
I don't know. It's so hard. I don't know. It depends on where it's going. We're such graphic designers, so
Yeah.
like we have to like have some sort of brief.
Your
I don't know.
brief is
Again,
AOC says, I want your mural.
Yeah.
What do you want in it? What colors? Give me
Is
something.
it in her house though? Is it?
Yeah.
You get to put it wherever you want.
Yeah.
Wherever
again,
AOC can
just
decide.
go along in line with like the whole like social justice, spreading good vibes, and encouraging diversity and loving one another for no matter what color skin and who they are. So I think something along those lines.
Okay. And what about something like in AOC's house? She's like, you got like the wall in my kitchen, like right by my kitchen. Like, what do you want to say? What do you want to put there?
Yeah, I mean, without seeing her kitchen, we could do like a really intricate, like tile looking thing that's like faux tile, colorful, splash of color in her kitchen, something to make her happy and like give her excitement to make our country a better place.
Right.
That's very cool. I love it. That sounds like a beautiful way to start the day.
Yeah.
It sounds like something in the future,
Yes.
perhaps. Now, if we've got a couple more minutes,
Sure.
we'll go through quickly here.
Sure.
Let's see the mural contract, because I just want to give you both a second to kind of plug some of these things quickly.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Mural.
So the contract template, we have one for just overall design as well, and this is just, I think, everyone's saving grace. Something that we wish that someone gave us when we were your age. No, when we were starting out. So it just outlines everything that you need to protect yourself, and it's ready to go. Plug in what you need, the basic project description, the client's name, but otherwise it's written for you and it's been approved by our lawyers. So you are good to go, and hopefully you can avoid any really crazy mishaps in the whole process.
Dig it.
Beer Me. Oh yeah, so this is from the biggest mural we've done for that brewery here in San Diego. Shout out to Coronado. They are amazing, and yeah, it was a really fun job. So encourage you to go there if anyone's in the neighborhood. Amina did ask about lowering your rates if you think that you're in a town or neighborhood that can't afford it, and we say
No, that's another excuse.
Yeah.
Your pricing should be your pricing no matter who you're working for. So if we're doing work in New York, the pricing is not different than if it's in a random town in the Midwest. It's all the same work for us. So you need to figure out your pricing for you and not compromise that no matter where they are. But like if there is travel involved, you do need to charge more for that. And our pricing guide goes through that, and it's free.
The ways around this to be more accommodating is, well, first of all, we always offer options for people. So a lower rate is the more simple. And then, yeah, again, this is all in our free mural guide, but, and then also offering a payment plan. Like you don't need to just do 50% up front, 50% upon completion. If people love when you present them with the ability to pay in maybe 3 or 4 different payments. So that makes their life easier, but you're still getting paid the same amount. Another thing that we'll do is, hey, you know what? You can't afford for us to paint the entire wall, but what we can do for our minimum, which is 1,000 or whatever your minimum is I can do this amount of square footage. And what we'll have clients do is just paint the whole background a solid color first, because, or whatever color it ends up being for the mural, because, you know, that doesn't take 2 muralists. Like, you know, that's not brain surgery. They can paint a solid color. And then you come in and do the fun stuff on top in that specific square footage amount. So they're still getting something fun and custom, but they don't need the whole gigantic thing covered by you.
Mm.
The Dream Big mural is from Houston. This is actually one of our bigger projects as well. We did this a couple years ago in downtown Houston, and there's 6 of these all in a row in one street. So it's pretty cool. There's like basically 6 different photo moments, and this was for a mall that was really trying to get people to know it existed, and it did just that. So they're great social media moments.
Mm. Could you explain how the mural plays into the social media moments?
Yeah, so as you can see, this is a photo that someone had taken in front of the mural. So when we present murals to clients, it's not just a beautiful art piece. This is actually a marketing strategy. We create walls and murals specifically for people to come stand in front of it, take a picture, and post it on their social media, which brings more awareness to the client. It's not an like in-your-face advertisement. It's an art piece, but it is actually an advertisement for the business. People are gonna see the mural on social media. They're gonna want to come take their photo. So they're gonna look at the location. They're gonna come down there. They're gonna take their photo in front of it. And while they're at the mall, they might, you know, grab a coffee. They might see something in a window that they want to buy. So it actually does relate to getting more customers for the clients. And our pitch is definitely different for different industries, but this was for a shopping mall, and malls right now are not doing well because people buy so much stuff online. So a mural is a great way to bring people physically into the space because they want to come take their photo in front of it, which means they have to physically be there. So it actually is bringing more clients into their space.
That's great. So I just want to give a second. Where can everybody find you both online? Like, spell it out for us.
Yeah, so you can find us at Pandr Design Co. To make it easy for you, it's like P and R, Phoebe and Roxy. So pandrdesignco.com, and then it's the same for our Instagram handle. For our individual Instagrams and TikToks, that's Phoebe Cornog, PhoebeCornog, and Roxy Prima, RoxyPrima.
And you can also find us on TikTok as well.
So that's Pandr Design Co.
Yep.
Right. And I'm at Aaron Jack Line Art. So make sure, if you're not already following either one of us on Instagram, make sure to go up to the upper left-hand corner, add us or in the comments, add us all on all of the places. We're all here. We're all here. If you're watching, make sure to follow whoever you're not following. That's very important. Very, very important.
Yes.
I've got like 80, 90 episodes of this artist to art to go back and watch.
Yes,
all of that.
Love it.
So many artists, so many awesome things, and gallerists, and outreach, right?
Yes. Make stuff happen for yourselves.
Yeah, so what you've been on these lives lately. What's some of your inspiration, or like what's gone through like the background to get you on these lives lately?
Yeah, we just love connecting with our audience. Like, I think when you're working for yourself or you're creating art for yourself, the number one thing is to be authentic. And Phoebe and I are very, you know, social. We love having fun. We love connecting with people, and we really love helping people. So we like to be available to our audience as much as possible because, you know, we couldn't be doing what we're doing without our audience following along and cheering us on. So we want to give back and help you guys, and hopefully just continue to bring our industry up so that all of us are making more money. So that's pretty much the goal behind it.
And you both have like a filter that you like to use. What's the name of this filter?
I don't even know what the name of the filters we use are, but just whatever one.
There's a lot of fun ones. We
love the underwater one.
the swimming one, yeah, so we can pretend like we're swimming the whole time.
Yeah, I just noticed this, you know, like
Yeah.
you should post it. Like the
Yeah,
we'll all be using your filters right
Yes.
along with you.
for sure.
And the paints.
Yes.
And
Yep.
the paints, the
Fun
colors.
colors, always.
Mhm. In different sizes, right?
Yeah, now
That's-
we basically just get gallons all the time because we can afford it. But you know, back in the day, we could just get whatever paint we could. So that's why we have quarts. But
The oops section is a great place to check too before you purchase anything, because there might be a similar color to what you're needing and it's heavily discounted.
Oh, could you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah,
Oh yeah, so most places have the oops section, which is like a color that they mix for someone that was off for return for some reason. So it'll be like $5 versus like the $40.
Oh, so you'll sometimes get it there, and then you can kind of.
Check
I'll
that.
just take a peep. Yeah,
Yeah, check that
Right.
first. 'Cause you might as well, like if it's at all close to the color you were gonna buy full price anyways, you might as well.
And you might as well have an extra lunch out of it.
yeah, exactly.
Go Wildcats!
That was another one at the school where we had 4 Wildbog quartz that we painted. So it was the different phrases from the school and go wild. They're Wildcats. So had to give the Wildcats some love.
So do you charge so we have a question from Fresh Prince. Do you charge smaller for residential? Even $15 per square foot is so much for some small murals in a kid's room.
No, $15 a square foot doesn't even come close to what we charge. We charge $40 to $50 a square foot with a $3,000 minimum. And you know, some people can't afford it. I know a lot of residential places, like they don't have the budget to spend $5,000 to paint a wall. But as a small business, we can't lower our rates just because it's in someone's house, so they can't afford it. So you know, that's why our book is coming out.
Say, buy our book and they can do it themselves.
The book is worth it. It pays for itself, right?
Yeah.
You're doing murals.
Yeah.
There's a lot of decal options out there now too. Like you can just find stuff on Etsy, I feel like, and if you want to go that route versus hiring someone to do a custom mural.
But honestly, like whether it's a commercial project or a residential project, it takes the same amount of time. It doesn't matter that it's in someone's house. And honestly, people getting things in their house end up being more difficult and more picky. So if anything, I'd want to up the rates for doing residential.
That's totally fair. So more money for residential.
Yes.
How do you charge for the pain in the ass clients?
Yeah, we'll add a little extra cushion on there if they seem like they're going to be difficult. This is something people always think that we line item our estimates and we'll put like, yeah, you seem like you're going to be an asshole, so extra $500. Like we don't line item these things. On our estimates, we list everything out that's included, but there's no price point next to each of those because it becomes a negotiation point. We've had clients be like, well, what if I take care of the paint? And we're like, no, we want to be in charge of that. You don't know what kind of stuff I need. Unless they're like, it's a mural for Sherwin-Williams, that doesn't make any sense. So we just offer a flat rate. But yeah, definitely add on some cushion if they seem like they're going to be a little tough.
A little tough. Nice way to say that.
Yeah.
And then we've got the East Village here, right?
Yeah.
What was going on
RIP.
here?
That one was just demolished.
Yeah, but so we started a mural festival that we hosted in 2019, and it's called Ladies Who Paint. It was the first ever all-female mural festival. We brought women from all over the U.S., 10 different women, to paint murals. So this is one of the murals that Phoebe and I painted leading up to the mural festival to basically celebrate what we're doing, show East Village that we're coming in, we're bringing murals and bringing art to the neighborhood. East Village is a neighborhood here in San Diego that didn't really have many murals, lots of blank walls, lots of just industrial buildings. So this was a mural that we created on one of our sponsors' buildings to just showcase what we're trying to do, what we're accomplishing in this neighborhood. So that was basically a donation to the community.
How do you talk to the clients that you're just like, hey, do you want to be part of this like festival?
Yeah, it's a lot of going to meetings and connecting with local business owners and yeah, getting connected to the right people who are willing to invest and see this as a valuable asset to their building. So
Outreach.
yeah, outreach, a lot of emailing.
Presentation.
We put together a lot of beautiful decks to really sell ourselves because we're visual, so we have to have these wonderful photos. So yeah, that's really how that works. And luckily, most people were really open to it.
Mm, mm. And what happens if you get like paint on the window or paint on the plants below there? What do you, what's your
Window scrapes, anything on a window scrapes off. We use plastic wrap to cover it. The plants actually grew after we painted it, so they weren't there. It was just dirt, so we just put our plastic drop cloths over the dirt in the sidewalk. But yeah, anything you don't want to get paint on, it's just best to cover it. That's the best thing to do.
You've got probably have like stacks of these plastic
Yeah.
plastic and canvas, right?
We have
Totally.
a lot of canvas ones, and then the plastic's nice for travel jobs, so we can just get them right there.
Okay, so because you're not going to travel with tons of canvas, right?
Yeah, we have, but it's just easier to because they're so big and bulky, you know.
They're also really gross, so I
Yeah.
don't really love having that in my suitcase.
Yeah.
A whole extra suitcase then.
Yeah.
Oh my, we've got a lot of questions. Well, we have a couple questions here. We'll do quickly. How do you seek new opportunities?
Outreach.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Have you ever painted a road?
Um,
On
we got
purpose and then
commissioned.
accidentally.
yeah, definitely accidentally.
We got commissioned by the city to design the inside of a crosswalk, a four-way crosswalk. So the inside street of that, because when you're painting on the street, there is a specific kind of paint. We negotiated that we would just design it and they would have a team install it. So we're not actually going to be installing it, but that'll be
Really
coming
cool.
around soon here in San Diego.
And then we just had to do very specific measurements and so that they can basically make stencils to lay it out.
Wow. Okay. So you're doing all of that so that they can make the stencils. Do you ever use stencils yourself?
We don't, but because this project was installed by someone else and because when you're doing anything on the road, there are very, very strict laws. Like it can't resemble any traffic symbol. It can't resemble lettering or anything at all. There's a lot of strict rules. So it has to be very simple.
It's kind of like you can't distract drivers. We don't want to distract anyone and cause a car crash with our mural. So yeah.
So that's positive. And what about coloring? What can you do about coloring in the?
Yeah, very specific rules about coloring as well. You can't have anything that resembles any traffic. So it's purple and orange and white.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And then do we have what? I think we have one more question here. What is the biggest hurdle contracting and acquiring clients? What are some of the biggest hurdles?
I wouldn't say hurdles. It's more just an annoyance. I think we all deal with it. People ghosting you, or like just scheduling phone calls. They don't answer, and then having to be persistent. And I want to be clear. We get lots of no's. We get lots of people ghosting us.
That's normal. That's why you have to do more outreach than you think.
We're not immune to it. It's not like we're sharing all these success stories, but we certainly have had and still do. We have someone ghosting us right now that's pissing us off. So, it's you just have to push through. So that's a hurdle.
Push through. Wow. That's such good advice. So what about a ship or boat? Ask Mimi.
Ooh. Yeah, would love to do that. We
Yeah.
haven't done it yet, but would love to. If anyone has a ship that needs painted, we're down.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the future.
Yes.
The future is AOC's boat.
Yes.
What goes on
Yeah,
AOC's
definitely.
boat? What colors do you imagine on AOC's boat?
Let's make it rainbow.
Yeah.
Okay, done. Right. Okay, from landscape architecture, can I put one of your murals on one of my Lego builds?
You'll have to email us and give us more information.
What's the smallest mural you would paint?
We'll do anything for
as long as they can afford us, we'll do it.
Our minimum. It can be 1 by 1 square foot for 3,000 minimum. Yeah.
Sweet. Before we go, let's go over where can everybody find you one more time.
Yes, Pandr Design Co. So PANDR
Design Co.
Cool. And then you have individual TikToks, and you can post them later.
Yeah.
And do you both have any like words of wisdom or inspiration for the people out there that you would each like to share?
Yeah. I would say that it doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter that there's so many people better than you. It's not about comparing yourself to other people. What's more important is being the most professional and working the hardest. And that's why we've been successful. Like, we are by no means the best muralists out there, but we are super professional and we work really hard. And that's why we've become successful. So just focus on that and don't focus on, you know, this person is so much better than me. Why would anyone hire me versus them? That has nothing to do with getting jobs.
Anything from you, Phoebe? Just words of inspiration, words of wisdom for the people that they need to hear from your heart?
I don't know about that, but I would say AOC, if you're listening, we love you. We want to paint your ship.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody who's watching.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
All right. Till the next time.
Bye.
Bye. All right. There we go. We're going to switch this as soon as we can. I just want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to go follow Pandr Design Co. I'm Aaron Jack. You can follow me at Aaron Jack Line Art right up here or posted below after this is live. So Aaron Jack Line Art, make sure to go follow. Every Tuesday I'm here with other artists, people in the art world. And then Thursdays I'm on Freedom Tapestry Project with artists and people with art all around the world. So 80 some episodes, all kinds of art related things. So thank you. We'll see you next time.